Welcome to Sexy Mom Abundant Life with best-selling author and coach Kathy Williams, a show to help you tap into the support of the universe and access the abundance that's available in every area of your life. Listen in for conversations and tools to create more ease, joy, and possibility with family, relationships, business, and living. Kathy's joyful perspective will help you tap into your own wisdom and create a life of presence and abundance your way. Listen live on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, or anytime on iTunes or at IOM FM.
Welcome to Sexy Mom Abundant Life, everybody. This is Kathy Williams, and our topic today is abundance, which is one of my very favorite topics. I mean, it's part of the name of the show. And before we dive in, I'd like to just talk a little bit about me and the show and what else? This show is really about helping you tap into the abundance that's available every moment of the day, which is actually the topic of our show. And I'd love to hear from you. So if you can't wait till Thursdays to hear the show, you can hear it on iTunes and SoundCloud and www.iom.fm. And over at my website, meetkathywilliams.com. And that's a great place to also find show archives, suggest show ideas. And I love to hear your ideas. That way I don't have to come up with them. And they're also relevant, right? If you weren't here, I wouldn't be either. I'm super grateful for listeners. And also a place to get a free money rain exercise right over at meetkathywilliams.com. And Kathy has a K, and it's meat like hello, not meat like yum. So in addition to doing the show, I go facilitate all around the world. I will be in Vienna next, and then Colorado, followed by Hawaii. And then in the fall, I'll also be in Laguna Beach doing a retreat with dolphins. And all of that info is on the website as well at meetkathywilliams.com/upcoming. And then one of my favorite things to do is facilitate online, because there we get people from all over the world, from South Africa and Australia and London and just all Brazil, all over. And the interaction that can take place is super fun. And my next online class is Radical Abundance. And I'll talk about that during the show. It's a life-changing class. And it's one that kind of just, one day I sat down and I created the whole Radical Abundance manual. It was one of those things that I, on some level, must have been looking to create, but on another level, like, it was this intuitive thing that just flowed through. So we'll talk about elements of abundance today and what radical abundance even means. So let's start there, actually. Abundance, the dictionary definition anyway, is the state or condition of having a copious quantity of something. In essence, a lot. And plentifulness of the good things of life. Prosperity. So as I look at this, it's like plentifulness of the good things of life. Well, to me, the good things might be travel and family and quiet and friendship. And to you, it might be maybe some of the same things and some other things as well. Maybe you don't like to travel, or maybe to you it means a lot of dinner parties. It's sort of like the good things are relative. Good is relative from person to person. Someone, I'm thinking of a friend, like maybe you enjoy a lot of parties and the friend doesn't like the parties at all, right? They'd rather have a copious amount of quiet, time to write, time to reflect. And so one of the first things I like to do is help people kind of reflect on, if you were living a life of abundance your way, that was totally abundant, had no lack, what would that be? What would it be? And it's kind of nice to flush this out. I'm a big journaler. To me, journaling helps unearth a lot of things that are true for me that might get covered up by my awareness of all the things that are true for other people. Because most of us are super aware, like giant sponges. So for me, like starting to write about these things are really useful. And then, to look at it and ask, well, is this really true for me? Because again, we get so many societal messages. Oh, the nice car. Oh, this and that. I recently was at the home of a friend who has 2 Porsches. And I'm aware of the constriction in their financial universe where it's like they have 2 Porsches and they actually don't feel radically abundant. They don't have this sense of freedom. So is a sense of freedom an element that, if you had total abundance, would be there for you? And as we start to write and look at these things, we get to ask, is this really mine? And if not, cross it out and ask, okay, what is true for me? And that way you start to peel away, when I became a coach, gosh, I'm like, that was like more than 15 years ago. When I became a coach, I got my certification and then I set out to fill my practice with one-on-one clients without starting to look at, is this what's really true for me? Is this really my desire? Or is this just the desire I think I'm supposed to have? So here I am madly trying to fill my practice and then not looking at like, oh, no, I really love to do some one-on-one clients and some groups and some yoga teaching. I'm a person who thrives on variety. So what would your abundant life be like? And I have a thing called the Radical Abundance Free Challenge, and you can go into the Facebook group, and there are videos there. Sign up on my website, meetkathywilliams.com/abundance, and the free challenge has a video with an activity each day to dive into that activity with a video and then some thoughts about it. And it's kind of bite-sized yumminess. People seem to really like it. So you can hop in there, meetkathywilliams.com/abundance. And so before we go into a couple other elements that I just think are so key in abundance, let's explore the word radical, right? If it's the Radical Abundance Free Challenge. Radical means, from the here at 7 a.m., not speaking well, from the dictionary, it means relating to or affecting the fundamental nature of something, far-reaching or thorough. So if you felt radically abundant, like thoroughly abundant, what would that be like? Like, what's the energy of it? So now we have kind of some of the things in the world, tangible things that you can say, yes, I have this. I have, lots of interactions with friends, or I have this amount of money in the bank, or whatever it is. What are the energies? Some might say the feelings of being fully abundant to you. Is that you have a sense of freedom? Is it that you have a sense of possibility or ease or expansion? Is it a sense of beyond security? So the knowingness that things are okay. What is it? Like, what are those different qualities? And for a moment, go ahead and tap into the feeling or the energy of being fully abundant. And you don't have to label all the different or differentiate all the different feelings. But if you were totally abundant, what would that be like? And get a sense in your body. Maybe your body kind of softens. Maybe you breathe a little deeper. Everything is taken care of. You are so abundant. You're abundant in ways that you had never even imagined being. What's that like? So now take a hand and just put it on your right shoulder to kind of anchor that in. So every time you come back to your right shoulder, you can come back to the sense of like what it is to be abundant. Because as you practice this, as you kind of rehearse it in a way, you, already experience what it's like to be abundant. So usually we think, oh, once I have X, Y, and Z, once I have the job, the money, the spouse, the whatever, the house, whatever it is, once I have that, I'll feel abundant. And actually it reverses. It works in reverse. So once you feel abundant, it's much easier to receive those things. You almost pull them into your life in a way. So here you are, and you're enjoying the sensation of whatever it is. And as you practice that, as you live it, as you embody it, you attract the experiences, right? It's kind of like when someone's negative. Oh gosh, there's this lady, she is on my island, and she, every time I see her, she's like, this and this happened, you know, the kind of Eeyore person. And like my energy wants to just go away, right? Be there for a moment for her and then leave, right? Because I'm much more attracted to people who are upbeat and joyful and radiant and expressive. And of course that doesn't mean if a friend's going through a painful moment, I'm not going to be there for them. But like attracts like. So as you embody this abundance, guess what? Experiences show up, people show up, possibilities show up, ideas show up. And we can ask questions too, because questions open the door to more possibilities, and we'll talk more about that later in the show. Yet the energy is one of the things that really both allows you to experience abundance right here, right now, and also draws more of those elements into your life. Now here's the thing, if you found it a little challenging to tap into the sensations of abundance for you, this is another way of doing it. Think of someone you know who is abundant and get a sense of their energy. And you don't have to duplicate their energy in every area. So maybe you know they're abundant and their body is not what you would choose. Okay, you're just duplicating their energy of abundance. You're not duplicating the way they talk or their body or any of that. Just ask to tap into the energy they exude in relation to abundance. And see if you can get a sense of that. You can ask to duplicate it, or just expand that in your body, in your energy field, in your life. So that's another way of doing it. And again, these things can be practiced. They can be learned. They can be expanded. Yet the energy is key. Energy is key in actualization. So that is the first key, really, the energy. And one of the things that, I find is so useful in really tapping into abundance, because honestly, this universe is abundant. right? The stars in the sky, the grains of sand, the molecules of air in the room, the trillions upon trillions of cells in your body. Like, we're already abundant. And so, like, recognizing your abundance already is huge. I was going to go in a different direction, but I thought, okay, we'll finish this thought before break and then enter our new direction that's really going to change your brain and help you, like, tap into more and more abundance. So starting to recognize, like, where you are already abundant. And that could be, oh, wow, I'm abundant in friends. I'm abundant in ideas. I'm abundant in kisses. I'm abundant in doubt, right? It's not just the good, fun things we might be abundant in. We might be abundant in doubt or scarcity and lack thinking, or I'm abundant in clutter. You might be abundant in things to do. So when you have a lot to do, you might just change the way you look at it and say, wow, I'm abundant. I'm abundant in things to do. I'm abundant in choices to make. So starting to identify, where am I already abundant? And that might be in hair or in honey or whatever it is. You know, I use honey because somehow I have clients who love to bring me honey. I'm working my way through it. The many, many jars of wonderful organic Hawaiian honey. Okay, everybody. So on the break, you can start to explore, where am I already abundant? In relatives and in what? And in just a moment, I'll be back and we'll explore a way to change your brain. And I found it super useful in my life. So stick around and I'll see you in a moment. Thanks for listening.
Feed your soul with waves of consciousness on OMTimes Radio. OMTimes Magazine is one of the leading online content providers of positivity, wellness, and personal empowerment. A philanthropic organization, their net proceeds are funneled to support worldwide charity initiatives via Humanity Healing International. Through their commitment to creating community and providing conscious content, they aspire to uplift humanity on a global scale. OMTimes, co-creating a more conscious lifestyle.
Dr. Kevin here, and I want to invite you every Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, to join me on the Dr. Kevin Show, where we have a diversity of guests who help you step outside the box, behind the curtain, and see what a load of crap is going on in the world today, so you have more information with which to make better decisions. We'll see you there. Namaste.
Would you like to have a life of more clarity and abundance? What's possible for you when you get out of your own way? Connect with Kathy Williams for private coaching, or join her online to transform your relationship with abundance in every area of your life with the Radical Abundance course. Kathy also travels, facilitating radical abundance and access consciousness bars and foundation around the world. She'll be in London, Hawaii, Hilton Head, and other fun locations soon. Visit www.meetkathywilliams.com for a class schedule, to connect with Kathy, or invite her to your region and get some free goodies.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Sexy Mom Abundant Life, everybody. I I love today's topic. It's one of my favorites. Abundance. Right? Every one of us has it. It's just a matter of identifying it. And as I mentioned, the universe is an abundant place. And the only thing that can really cut us off from that is our own thinking, right? Our own stories, our own mountains of evidence that we're not abundant because, all of which is the past, right? So I know you could say, oh, well, it's true. I'm not abundant. I need to pay my bills and this and that. Okay. So one element is starting to look at where you are already abundant, okay? And ask questions in the direction of like, what would it take to have this? What would it take for this to show up with total ease? It's really funny. I, every once in a while, just play with asking for a windfall. And I've received windfall in regard to that question. Like, the first time it was money. Oh, no. The first time it was dresses. I asked for a windfall, and I received literally over 60 dresses in the mail. Dress, black dress, pink dress, red dress, flowered dress, you name it. My mom had gone on the internet. She apparently thought I needed dresses. And so it was like, oh, okay, this is in response to my ask on some level. The next time I asked for a windfall, I got this giant box of mangoes, and I think it was avocados. It was a couple years ago. It was so fun. Like, it's really fun to just see what shows up in response to your asks. So the question is, what are you asking? Like, are you asking for your business to boom or for money to show up, and then you go into your story of how it's hard, and you go talk with a friend about how business is not going well or whatever it is? When you go into that, that's also an ask too. Even though it doesn't sound like a question, even though you're having a conversation or going back into the story or going into it in your head, I have to figure out how to pay this. It's always so hard at the end of the month or whatever it is. Okay, stop the story. Not to make you wrong for the story, but just catch it and then say, okay, what would I rather create? What would I rather have show up? What else is possible for this to be ease? What could I choose that would allow the money to flow effortlessly? What could I add to my life to allow more ease with this? Or allow whatever it is you're asking for to show up with total ease, right? Because that taps you into the curiosity, right? Really ask it with curiosity. Because I've heard people ask questions like, well, what else is possible? But they're not actually asking a question. They're not addressing it with the curiosity and the openness of a question. When you get into I wonder type of attitude and type of question, you're actually in a spaciousness to allow things to show up. Oh, I wonder what it would be like for it to be easy for me to have enough money to pay my bills and even more coming in. I wonder what I would have to choose and do different to have that. You know, and whatever it is, if you're asking for more free time, if you're asking for more, a better relationship, like, I wonder what it would be like to have more free time. What could I do and be different to have that? And get a little quiet with it in a space of openness and receiving. Because it's not just about asking, it's also about receiving. So you can choose from the menu of all possibility. The universe requires that you ask. And if we're looking in the direction of lack, what are we going to see more of? Right? It's like when most people are looking to buy a new car, then all of a sudden they see so many of that model on the road, right? Hey, I never knew there were so many white Nissan Leafs driving around Maui, you know? It's like that's the direction our attention is going, so that's what we see more of. Which brings me to the next key, gratitude. Right? And it's not like, oh, like my mom made me write thank you notes. And I wasn't in a space of gratitude when I was writing them. I was in a space of obligation, like, dear Aunt Lindsay, thank you for the My Little Pony. Right? Instead of like, I love the My Little Pony, thank you for it. So there's definitely an energy of gratitude that's different from the obligatory gratitude. And if you don't like the word gratitude, use thankfulness or appreciation or whatever it is. I know gratitude can sometimes like bring up these feelings of obligation, like what I just mentioned. So, gratitude for what you have, for what you get to experience, and for what you are opens the door for more. Okay? I have a YouTube video about me doing an appreciation walk where I'm just like, oh, I love the way the sunlight shines on those leaves, and I love the little tufts of white plumeria blossoms, and I love the way the grasses kind of go back and forth in the breeze, and I love this. And that's appreciation, right? That's real enjoyment. And so for you, it could be a gratitude walk, or an appreciation walk. It could be sitting and speaking what you're thankful for. It could be writing thank you notes to people. Like, I really just love this, and this about you. Like, that kind of note can rock somebody's world. You know what I love about you? I forget one of those notes. They are awesome. Because you're really recognizing the gift that someone or something is when you're in appreciation of it. So as you shine your flashlight in the direction of what you love about things in your life, again, that expands the energy of it. You see, people have this thing called a negativity bias. That means our brains kind of look for what's off, right? And maybe it stems from when we lived out on the plain and we had to look for intruders, from another tribe, or look for, saber-toothed tigers or whatever it is, right? We're looking for what's off. You're at work, you're working happily, and then suddenly you're like, oh, is my boss upset with me? They looked at me this funny way. Or maybe you do that with your spouse or partner. Like, are they upset with me? We're looking a little bit for what's not working instead of looking for what's going well. So this idea of spending 10 minutes a day or just journaling about what you're thankful for, or doing an appreciation walk actually retrains the brain to look for what's going well, right? And remember, whatever we're focusing on expands. So if we're looking for what's going well, what's going to expand? If we're looking for what's off, what are we going to see more of? So researchers at the University of Pennsylvania actually found that people are happier if before they go to bed, they focus on 3 things that they're happy about during the day, so that they're thankful for during the day. And that might be, I'm really grateful for my conversation I had with my good friend. Then they add kind of a because. So, or some additional information about it. It always uplifts me to talk with her. She's full of fun ideas. I really enjoy having her in my life, right? Like, a couple of additional statements that really like reinforce what was great about that conversation. Or I'm really thankful for the yummy dinner I had. We had such great conversation and the food was delicious and I didn't have to clean up afterwards. So finding 3 things you loved or you can be grateful for and loved through the day or be grateful for, and then additional supporting information to just flush it out, to make it more real, to juice up the energy. And they found that actually has a really positive impact on people's lives. And of course, if you're not a person to do that at night, do it in the morning or do it while you're on your jog or do it, at lunchtime. The main thing is to just do it because it has such a useful impact. And honestly, like, if you think about it, no matter how much money you have, no matter how many parties you get to go to, no matter what's going on, like, if you don't have appreciation for what's in your life, like, you could have all that stuff and not have appreciation and not really be abundant because you're not enjoying it. So that is a real key for impacting the awareness of abundance in your life and actually changing your brainwave to away from the negativity bias and toward fulfillment and happiness. So, what are you grateful for? And when you think about that, like, what's the energy of that? What's it change for you when you tap into that? Could you put a word to it? It brings a sense of delight. It brings a sense of satisfaction. What kind of word does it bring in? I have words I consider touchstone words. And that's when my head's going in a certain direction, when it's getting upset, when it's, like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, delight is one of my touchstone words. What could I find that would bring that, a sense of delight right now? And then I'll tap into that. Maybe it's those grasses on the side of the road going back and forth. Maybe it's, thinking of my son's smile, whatever it is. Touchstone words are super useful to have to change your state. Okay? And again, maybe the word's abundance, and you've anchored it in by putting your hand on your shoulder and getting those good expansive qualities again, and anchored it in by putting your hand on your shoulder and again getting those expansive qualities. The more you rehearse those, the more available they'll be. And the thing is, a lot of us growing up mimicked our parents. So maybe your mom was depressed, or maybe your dad would get frustrated and just kind of hold that in. Like, a lot of us have rehearsed negative emotions and sensations, over the years. So if that's what's showing up, then just recognize, hey, okay, that's cool. I rehearsed being sad a lot, and that's sort of what I modeled, and how much of that isn't even mine. It's just my awareness of that now. And so having rehearsed all of that, that can be our go-to. Oh, someone said this certain thing, maybe we'll go to sadness, or whereas a friend might go to anger. But you can rehearse feeling good enough that you don't have to go to sadness or anger. You could go into possibilities. So it's a really useful thing to just practice and practice and practice those energies that you would like to put on every day, those energies you would like to experience. And when you write down or think about what you're grateful for, to tap into the energies. Because we could write, oh yeah, I'm thankful that my elbows bend. Oh yeah, I'm thankful for my coffee. Oh yeah, I'm thankful for, my computer. But that's not really bringing the energy of gratitude. It's just sort of like a rote thing. So the more you can tap in and practice those energies, the more they will expand in amazing, amazing ways. All right. So even when you have thoughts of lack, you have abundance. Right? An abundance of lack thinking. And it's like, what abundance can you perceive and receive today? I love to ask questions like that while I'm in the shower. What abundance can I receive today? The universe, show me. The universe, show me my magical capacities with, and then fill in the blank. If you have to do a presentation or have to, talk to people, my magical capacities with communication. My magical capacities with receiving. The universe, show me my magical capacities with money today. What would it take to have more money show up than I could even imagine? Surprise me. Right? Ask and you shall receive is a law of the universe. So what are you asking? And then you have to also be open to receive it. And we think if it doesn't show up immediately, we haven't been heard. So we'll go in that direction when we come back in a few minutes. And for now, maybe you'd like to just tap into what are my kind of touchstone words I'd like to have that evoke a quality that I'd like to come back to when I'm feeling off. Thanks for listening to Sexy Mom Abundant Life, and I'll be back in just a moment.
The future of Internet radio is here. OMTimes Radio, IOM FM.
Ascending Hearts is no ordinary dating site, but a spiritual dating site with a purpose, to link you with your soulmate. We engineer the serendipity so you can trust that you will attune with someone that has the same matching vibration as you. Ascending Hearts, the conscious dating site for the spiritually aware. Try Ascending Hearts for free. AscendingHearts.com.
Would you like to have a life of more clarity and abundance? What's possible for you when you get out of your own way? Connect with Kathy Williams for private coaching, or join her online to transform your relationship with abundance in every area of your life with the Radical Abundance course. Kathy also travels, facilitating radical abundance and access consciousness bars and foundation around the world. She'll be in London, Hawaii, Hilton Head, and other fun locations soon. Visit www.meetkathywilliams.com for a class schedule, to connect with Kathy, or invite her to your region and get some free goodies.
Hello, I'm Sandy Sedgbeer, host of OMTimes Magazine's flagship radio show, What is Going On? My passion is sifting through information, research, and innovations from new thought teachers, speakers, and researchers pushing back the boundaries of what we know about life, energy, metaphysics, and the universe. I love shifting perceptions about who we are, why we're here, and how quickly impossible becomes normal when we open our minds, expand our awareness, and accept that the only limits that exist are those we place upon ourselves. So if you're the kind of forward-thinking, eager investigator of what lies beyond the current reality that most perceive, why not make a date to come play with me in the field of possibilities at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Thursday, and together we can discover what's really going on.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that our daughters have what they need to grow and learn. But that isn't the case for nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. that struggle with hunger.
Childhood hunger is a heartbreaking reality that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste and provides it to families and children in need.
You can help kids in need in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Sexy Mom Abundant Life, everybody. This is Kathy Williams, and today's conversation is about abundance. One of my favorite conversations, because a couple years ago, I came up with this class called Radical Abundance, and it was kind of like I just downloaded the manual one afternoon. I sat for 2 or 3 hours and just wrote a manual for a class. And so I went to San Diego and facilitated the class as a one-day class. And one of the women in the class said to me the next day, Kathy, I took the day off to go through the class again, because that was the most powerful class on manifesting I've ever taken. And she said, one day is too much. She's like, one day, it's so much information for one day. Would you consider putting it online? So it's more like modules that we can receive and then apply and receive and apply. And I was like, well, that's really smart. So over time, I kind of separated it into modules. And I've run the class 3 times over the past year. And it's amazing, amazing, amazing to see what people create. And it's not just money, although I've had people say, like one man said, Kathy, like this is the first year I'm ending the year with a surplus instead of a deficit, right? I have money. I'm ending the year with money, finally. And definitely had other people say I received unexpected checks. Even from that first Radical Abundance one-day class, one lady was like, oh my gosh, I had my best year in sales, and I've been doing sales for decades. And she received an unexpected check. There are lots of people who are just like, I received unexpected money. But it's not only about money. I was listening to my voice recordings in my phone yesterday to kind of like clear out a bunch of the irrelevant ones. And I listened to one where a woman was saying, Kathy, I've taken so many classes to try to lose weight, and during Radical Abundance, I finally did. So it's not just money showing up, but she lost weight and got a job she loves. In fact, she had several job offers. And there was another person who said, Kathy, I finally have clarity. Like, I've been looking for clarity, and I finally have clarity on the direction I'm going in life. And then one last one is a lady from UK said to me, Kathy, I've been trying to understand manifestation for 13 years, and I finally get it. So, it's abundance. Again, this word radical, it means far-reaching and thorough. This universe is abundant. Your life is abundant. It's just our thoughts that kind of cut us off from that and don't allow us to recognize that. So it's a process of reorienting. And I really love the module kind of approach to it, because it is a process. It's not like, let's just do a one-day class and then we're done with it. It's like, oh yeah, here's a piece, and let me thread that into my life. And now here's the piece, and let me thread that into my life and see how it goes, and ask if I have questions that come up, I can address them and stuff like that. So, before we went to break, all that to say, the Radical Abundance class is starting super soon, and you can check it out at meetkathywilliams.com/abundance, and that's online. So part of it is pre-recorded, and oh gosh, there's like a library worth of material on your private website, and then part of it is live interactive. Where you can ask your questions, and we'll go through exercises and stuff. And of course, if you have questions for that, go to my website, meetkathywilliams.com, and let us know. We'll be in touch right away. So where we left off was often we think, yeah, I've asked for the money, or yeah, I've asked for the job, or whatever it is, and it hasn't shown up. And we think if it doesn't show up immediately that we haven't been heard. Yet, even in a restaurant, the kitchen requires time to fix the meal, right? We don't go back and say, hey, do you have enough butter for that? Are you sure you have the right kind of spices? We don't doubt and hesitate and try to micromanage our meal, right? We sit back, we have a conversation, we enjoy ourselves, and we trust that it's coming. So a lot of times with what we're asking for, we, ask, and then we kind of doubt. Well, maybe it's not coming. That's hard to get, whatever it is. And each of those little things kind of negates what we're asking for. So imagine you planted a seed in the ground and it's taking its time. It's sprouting and it's getting a little bigger. And then you go to it and you're like, it's not that big yet. And you kind of clip it back. And then you wonder why it's not as big as you'd like it to be in your time frame. And then it's growing a little bit more and you're like, it's not my time frame. It's not growing. And every little, negative thought like, oh, it's not happening, or, oh, it's hard, or whatever it is, or the doubts, clips it back a little bit. And instead of, oh, okay, well, what can I do? What can I choose to allow this to grow, to allow it to fruit, to allow it to come to fruition with ease? Remember I said, even those times when you're saying, oh, this is hard, that's an ask too. So you put in your ask, you're asking for work you love, or a home that's really generative and joyful and peaceful for you. You've asked for that. You put in your order, like at a restaurant. And then you say, well, in my town, houses are too expensive, or the rents are too high. I'm not sure I can find what I want. Okay, well, you just asked in another direction. So the universe is busy preparing your order, and now you just changed your order. So now they're like, oh, wait, it's hard. Okay, well, we can make it hard. No problem. And now they're busy over here making it hard. Because the universe is always saying yes in response to your vibrational ask. So if you're saying it's hard, then on some level, oh, okay, cool, no problem, we'll make it hard. Instead of saying, okay, well, what would it take for me to find something with total ease? Where would I have to look? Who would I have to talk to? So these are those kind of curious questions to help us actualize whatever we'd like with more ease. Because you're shining the flashlight of your awareness in that direction. Oh, okay, who would I have to talk to? Okay, I don't know yet, but then I'm sitting at a restaurant and someone behind me is talking about needing or having a rental available, and then I turn around and say, hey, I'm looking. It's like life happens like that when we allow it. Or you're on the airplane and you get to chatting with the person next to you, and you've been looking for work you love, and it sounds like they have something. That actually happened to a client of mine. Her husband used to work on some big show like the Grammys or the Academy Awards or something like that. And she was on the airplane sitting next to, oh no, I know what it was. He worked for some giant band and he went all around the world doing lighting for them. And she was on the plane, they disbanded, and she was on the plane sitting next to someone who worked for like the Grammys or the Academy Awards, and she got him a job doing that, now that his band was disbanded. So these things happen. Would you allow what you're asking for to show up more magically than you'd ever imagined. Part of it is just the curiosity and the receptivity and the knowing that the universe is working on your behalf. You know, it is you in a sense. It's not your ego you, but it's like the giant you that you are a part of, kind of conspiring to create your life with you. And if that's too weird, like, that's my universe I live in. And if that doesn't make sense, ask me questions, because like, that's really one of the things we tap into. What if everything that shows up in your life is a gift? Okay? It's a gift to open more awareness. It's a gift to evolve you and show you what else you're capable of. It's a gift to show you where you're still, where you've still got like hang-ups. What if everything that shows up in your life is a gift? Something that you can be grateful for. And you can even start to ask, what is the gift in this? You know, and even if you don't love it, what's possible beyond this? So ask, right? Asking a question is an invitation to greater possibilities. It's an invitation for you to see what is beyond what you think you know, right? To see more, to receive more, to be more. So asking opens up your awareness of possibilities. And possibilities abound. Right? When we think something's a problem, we just get to ask, well, what are the possibilities here I'm not seeing? Because when you determine that it's a problem, you're cutting off your awareness of the possibilities there. So I consider this like 3 A's, right? So you ask, you get awareness. That awareness might come instantly. It might come over time. Like, oh, who do I need to talk to? And then later that day or the next week, you're sitting in the restaurant and you become aware of who to talk to. All right? So asking brings awareness of possibilities. The 3rd A is action. So act on that awareness. And action doesn't always require like physical action in the world, although it could, right? Turning around and talking to that person who's talking about a rental, which you're looking for, would be an action in the world. However, sometimes the action is just, oh, I need to change my energy around this, or I need to ask a different question of the universe in my head around this, right? So acting could be, oh, okay, I realized I've been talking about this situation in a negative way, change and choose to look for possibilities. Or I'm going to approach today, I'm going to show up with vitality and delight and joy. Whatever it is, that's acting too, right? That's an action. And we go more into this in the class because a lot of people, when they're choosing, right? Acting is choosing. They're trying to make the right choice. And that can actually be limiting instead of recognizing that every choice you make will open the awareness of more possibilities. You can always choose again. So what choices are available that I haven't considered? What questions could I be asking that open the door to possibilities that I wasn't aware of, right? In regard to what I'd like to have show up. And then after all the A's, contribution, just recognizing the universe is conspiring on your behalf. Conspire means with spirit. I remember Deepak Chopra saying that 20 years ago. I heard him say that, and it was just so delicious for me. It's like, oh yeah, the universe is conspiring to fill your desires, right? And it may not happen instantly, but following the breadcrumbs of awareness always opens you up to more. and often more than you've decided was possible and better than you thought. So you may think, oh, I need this kind of house, or I need this kind of spouse to be happy. And the universe is like, wait, I have this right here. It's so much better. So if you haven't defined it in a certain way, then it can open up to you in greater ways than that. And again, there's more about this in the Radical Abundance class. I mean, we dive in, we look at your desires, we look at exercises for receiving them. And what if you could receive from everything? Where have you placed limitations on receiving? From whom? From where? Are there people you've decided you can receive from, but not others? Have you decided you can only receive if you give back? Right? What if you had no limitations on receiving? I'll leave you with that. Come play with me on the Radical Abundance Free Challenge Facebook group. The best place to find it is meetkathywilliams.com/abundance. I always love to hear from you. Same website, meetkathywilliams.com.